Okay, good morning. Thank you for joining us for the Monday briefing. My name is Brandon Locklear. I'm a senior forecaster here in the Weather Service in Raleigh. We're going to be covering the period September 25th through October 1st. So we're going to be closing out the month of September. And Mother Nature's right on time because we've got a week coming up that's going to be fall weather is going to be here. So actually a really nice, pleasant week ahead in terms of temperatures. So before we go looking towards the future, we'll look and see what kind of impacts did we end up seeing from Tropical Storm Ophelia. Here's a rainfall map, and this is a rainfall map that it's a sensor estimate, but it fits pretty well with what some of the actual observations that we had reported. And if you notice, you can see really nice in this picture the actual the track and where the eye wall moved in there along the Crystal Coast, and we see this very sharp rainfall precipitation gradient across the eastern half of North Carolina. And overall, the forecast did really well. We saw a maximum rainfall that basically came on shore, and we saw anywhere from 7 to 9 inches from just west of Camp Lejeune up into Pitt County, just outside of our area, but across central and eastern portions of North Carolina, we saw a nice large area of 3 to 5 inches of rain. And based on the reports that we had from different observers and citizens, right now, our heaviest rainfall was actually in this little stripe here that extended from like southeastern Wake County into Johnston County, where we had about 5 inches of rain. So, overall, the forecast was pretty good. As you start to move west of US 1, you see the rainfall amounts really dropped off. And here's our key up here, our legend. You see basically about a quarter, and some places even had less than a quarter there across our southwest corner. In the bottom left, you can see as of last week, this is how our current drought conditions. So you can see, we actually a lot of places saw, that were experiencing some dry conditions. Actually saw some of the best rain. So that map should change here for next Thursday. And and that's part of it. Living here in North Carolina, tropical systems are part of our climatological precipitation. And if we go in an extended period without seeing tropical rainfall, that typically means a drought. So, no doubt tropical cyclones are very key in order to keep, drought at bay. So it's nice to see that we had, the rainfall with overall, kind of minimal impacts. I don't have it pictured here, but across our area, we ended up seeing pretty common gusts from 35 to 45 miles per hour. And we saw those gusts all the way into the triad. And that was because we had a pressure gradient. And if and that was a gradient between a high pressure to our north and then the tropical cyclone. And, you could tell it was a little different. We always call this like a hybrid system because it was a very cool air mass. Temperatures were in the mid to upper 50s in the evening and at night. So a large area saw some pretty good wind gusts. As we look ahead, as I mentioned, pretty quiet coming up this week. We're going to have we've got a weak boundary extending over the area today, but there's going to be a secondary front that's going to come out of Virginia. That's going to push through this evening tonight. That should be a mostly dry passage. There is some weak upper level disturbances, and we may see some sprinkles, but overall it's going to remain dry. And then for the remainder of the week, you can see this high that's over southeastern Canada and over the northeast US. That's going to ridge down south into the Carolinas. And as you see, as we go into Friday and even on Sunday, you still see that high pressure nosing south. And that high pressure is going to provide a northeasterly flow at the surface. And that means it's going to be below normal temperatures, keep things pretty cool. We're going to see high temperatures, mostly in the upper 60s to low 70s across our northern portions, with some mid to upper 70s across the south. And then if you look at these indicator for precipitation, the greens, you see there's some very light greens across the area, but for the most part, that high is going to shelter us and create a dome over us. And so if you do have precipitation, it's going to be very light. I would say maybe our best chance may be like Thursday, Friday when the upper level trough moves into the area. But generally, you know, most places remain pretty dry. Real quick, looking at this again, there's not a lot going on, but as we step through here, the Tuesday graphic here is showing a chance for thunderstorms, and we are not forecasting any thunderstorms. So overall, we're not expecting any impacts from severe thunderstorms. Same thing in terms of rainfall. Again, here's the 5-day total. You can see overall, you know, over North Carolina, we're here in the non-precipitation in the white area, and as we get into maybe Friday, there may be a little bit of precipitation, but I wouldn't be surprised as we get closer and closer if we end up seeing this becoming more dry. So if you tune in with us on Thursday, you can kind of follow and see if that ends up being a drier forecast. Overall, if we do see rain, you know, this is a depiction in this light green. It's basically 1/10 of an inch or less for most of the area. In terms of the tropics, you know, we're getting past our peak period, but you can still see there's a couple systems. We have the system out over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, and this is a very unfavorable environment. So there's very little chance of development and organization over the next several days, only a 10% chance. We have Tropical Storm Philippe, and we're not expecting Philippe to pose any threat to U.S. land. This system's mostly forecast to start to lift a little bit northwest and then start to curve back out. So not expecting any impacts. And then there's another system that's behind Philippe, and right now they're expecting, you know, almost categorical chances, 80% chance over the next several days as conditions, you know, we still have those very warm temperatures out in the Atlantic. So we will follow that system. As we look ahead for the week 2, you can see that overall, you know, it looks like we're going to flip the script, that after we have this basically week of fall temperatures with below normal, the second week we may end up being a little bit above normal. Not seeing any kind of strong upper level ridge in terms of heat, but temperatures could end up averaging a little bit above normal for week 2, which is October 7th through October 8th. And during that same time frame, you know, precipitation chances look pretty near normal. So in summary, and I just realized here, don't pay too much attention to the bottom graphic. I did not update this. That was all on me. But you can see in this right-hand graphic, you know, in terms of hazards and impacts, really quiet. And so, like, if you're a fan of the cooler fall weather, you're going to be happy for the next several days. If you plan on being out in the evening and at night, you're going to want to take a jacket. We're mostly expecting temperatures down into the 50s at night, with highs at generally about 70 to 75 once we get past today and tomorrow.